Yo,
How you doing?
great. How about yourself, man?
I'm good, I'm good. I was just wondering, I've talked to you about most of the things, but I don't even know your name. So this is me basically asking, what is your name, bro?
It is Marquette.
Excuse me?
Marquette.
Mark. It's nice to meet you.
Marquette.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay. All right.
I got
Yes,
that.
that's my name.
It's nice to meet you. That was all.
Likewise, brother.
I just
Keep up the good
wanted
work,
to
Chief.
know your name.
I got you. Take care, bro. All right. At least we got a question. You know, that counts as a question, does it not? Had a little Alicia Keys moment. Hello.
Hey,
How you
how
doing?
are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So are we just doing dating Q&A today then?
Yep. That's what we do every day.
Okay. So I was talking to this one guy recently and we seem to be good together. But we haven't met yet because he's actually in Canada. I'm in Wisconsin. But we're hoping that we could meet sometime soon.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is, if he actually flies out to see me, do you think, because I mean, in general, I'm like a proponent that the guy should pay for the date. But like, if he actually spends his own money to fly out and see me, do you think that like he should pay like for the dates as well while he's here?
Um, I mean, it's not really a question of should. It's just, you know, what the two parties agree to. Like, more than likely, he will. If it hasn't been discussed, like, that you're expecting him, or that he's expecting you to pay because he's paying for the flight,
Mm-hmm.
then I wouldn't assume that there's anything different.
Yeah.
There's any kind of different expectation than what you would generally expect when you go out with somebody.
I mean, yeah, my general expectation would be that the guy should pay. I mean, I'm more of a traditional gender roles type of person.
Hmm.
So that would be what I would expect. I just don't know if he didn't want to do that, if that would be something that I should think about, whether or not it's worth doing.
No, I think like, how did y'all meet?
So we met through online dating, Christian Mingle.
Okay, Christian Mingle is still a thing. All right. So you met through Christian Mingle. How long have y'all been talking?
So first time we talked was like on the phone was this week. We had like a 3.5 hour video call, but prior to that we were talking for a few days just on the app. And then we're going to be talking again this Saturday for
Okay.
another video call.
And how much distance is between the two of you?
So I could drive there like in a day and a half, or I could take plane. Because he's in Montreal, and I'm in Wisconsin. So by car, it's like a day and a half drive, or it's like a few hours for a plane ride.
Okay. Why so far? Does like Christian Mingle does a Christian Mingle not like geolocate where you are?
Yeah, I see what you mean. So he told me that he actually changed his location. So when we met, he actually changed his location to Boston. So I originally thought that he was from Boston because he said he just wasn't getting good matches in Canada. But his preference would be like if we were to actually be together, like basically he would be moving here then for residency.
That's suspicious.
You think so?
You don't. Your whole country didn't give you any good matches?
I don't think that Christian Mingle's in Canada.
Well, he said he didn't get any good matches in Canada. So what is he referring to then?
I don't think that that's how he referred to it. I just don't think that Christian Mingle is in Canada.
Well, why did you say that? That's what he said.
That's not really what I meant to say.
Okay. So Christian Mingle is not in Canada.
No. I mean, I could do a double check on it.
No, it's still suspicious.
Okay.
It's still suspicious. When you tell me you can't find anyone in your whole country, so that you have to go to another country to find somebody, that's immediately suspicious to me. Even if Christian Mingle is not in Canada, why do you need Christian Mingle to meet another Christian?
I mean, what other Christian dating apps are there?
You don't have to use a dating app at all. You could go to church. You can go to other churches.
Good. I mean, on the one hand, I understand though, because me being a Christian, it's hard to find even people my age. Because just where I live, even like in church, it's like all old people. There aren't really very many young people there.
Okay. Right. But even with like your typical dating apps, you can filter by religious belief. It's not like Christian Mingle only is exclusive for like people who take Christianity seriously. It's just for people who identify with Christianity as a belief. So hold on. So I'm looking at what this goes against, like human nature. We typically do things that are easiest for us. And when we put this much effort into something in that way, there's normally a reason for it, right?
Okay.
So I'm trying to see what would motivate him to match with somebody who's in a completely different country, and then have potentially
say
it again.
I'm just saying, what would it be?
Well, one thing is the person is cheating. It's one thing, right?
Okay.
So one reason
That's a good point.
is I need to connect with someone far away from me, so there's no possibility for them to overlap with whatever I got going on here. Right? To say I can't find anyone in my country, I don't even believe you if you say you can't find anyone in your state, let alone your country. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's not real. It's not a real problem, right? So strikes me as suspicious. I mean, I'm not telling you not entertain it. I'm just telling you that it definitely strikes me as
So then
suspicious.
if I wanted to suss it out and make sure that it's legitimate, what steps would I take?
I mean, time will reveal it. Now, what would also make sense is if, like, and I think you alluded to this, if he was 100%, like, the way that you phrase it is, he would move to this state if y'all connected. What would make more sense to me is if he was already moving there and just trying to meet people before he arrived.
Yeah.
That makes sense, right? But to say I'll move here if we connect, that doesn't track. That doesn't track at all. So I would just be cautious. I would be cautious. If there's like any kind of weirdness around when he can talk, like if he can't talk around, in evenings where you would be home with the family or something like that, right? If he avoids any kind of FaceTime conversations, those are things to kind of keep an eye on.
Yeah. I mean, we already did have one FaceTime conversation.
Right.
So at least I know he's a real person. But as far as just sussing it out, like what, just see if he actually comes here, or just like see if he actually makes the move, or what?
Yeah, he'll likely come there. It's just, especially if his motivation is like infidelity or something like that. It's just, he probably is misrepresenting what his actual intentions are.
Okay. So I guess it sounds like really the only way to find out would be for me to actually go there and see what's going on.
These things, there's normally signs that reveal themselves over time.
Over time, okay.
Right? Like a weirdness around the phone, taking calls in another room. You don't have to be super neurotic about it. Just like live in the moment like you would with anybody else. Just also observe what is going on, right? Those would be very easy tells that something else is going on. Even his willingness of already telling you, like, if we connect, I'll move there. That's too early to even be talking about. Appreciate you, CJ. Like, even that's weird. Like, what do you mean you'll move here if we connect further? Why are you already ready to uplift your life?
Well, that would be like in the context, like if we ended up getting married one day, like there would be a dating process, and if we decide like there was an engagement, then we would have to see about what the next steps would be.
That's too early to talk about. Y'all haven't been talking that long.
No, but I mean, I'm looking for marriage. I'm not looking for just a date.
I get that, and that's the reason. He knows you're looking for marriage. So if I know that's what you're looking for, then let me talk in a way that's congruent with your desires. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. So just be careful, though. That's all I'm saying. Okay?
Yeah, I definitely will be. So maybe I don't know if it's possible to do a background check on anybody who's in Canada or something like that. But I'm definitely gonna be doing my due diligence.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's it. But let me know. Keep me posted on how it goes, all right?
Yep.
All right, you take care. All right, all right. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, Chief?
I need some advice because, right? I just recently asked this girl out.
Okay.
And I asked her out because we go to the same college. So I asked her out if she wanted to go get some food after her class. She said yeah. And this is my first date ever with like a girl. And I was hoping you could give me some advice on like how should I talk during the date or like just advice on how I should approach it.
Okay. And y'all are going out to eat?
Yeah.
Okay. How old are you two?
I'm 19. She's
Nice.
19 too.
Okay. Just best advice I can give you, Chief, is just live in the moment. Don't try to impress her. Don't try to perform. Just live in the moment. Okay? Right now, even your question is about like, even you asking this question, which is there's no problem with you asking the question. But even you asking this question is like you being in your head. You're trying to like have a plan and think in your head about what to do, what to say. That's already going to mess you up, because what's going to make you time with you more enjoyable is if you are fully in the present moment and enjoying yourself.
Okay.
What helps a lot with women is like focusing on self-amusement. So you're connected with them, but you're doing and saying things that amuse yourself. Other guys try to do and say things that will entertain the woman and amuse the woman. You entertain her by entertaining yourself first, if that makes sense, right? So saying things that make you laugh, stuff like that, right? And when you amuse yourself, that gives you more like light, playful energy, and that makes things more fun for her.
Yeah, because we had conversations in person, and I was making her laugh and stuff like that. Asking her questions, she was giving me good feedback. Like she would ask me questions back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I like just went up to her and asked her. I built like a rapport with her at first.
Right. So yeah, you just want to keep that playful and fun energy, and also just be genuinely curious about who she is. So in other words, don't ask questions you think you're supposed to ask. Ask questions that you genuinely are curious about. Don't think you need to ask her what her favorite color is because you're supposed to ask that question. Like, ask her what you really want to know. Like, who's your favorite sibling? Right? Like, ask her things you're genuinely curious about. You do those two things, you amuse yourself and just stay in the present moment and just be fun. And then when there is moments of depth in the conversation, you're asking questions you're really curious about. That's all you need to do. That you doing those two things makes you stand out from even guys who are older than you.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thanks.
Yeah, give that a try, brother, and follow up with me after the date. Let me know how it went, all right?
Okay.
All right, Chief. Best of luck to you. All right. Okay, you about to go out here and crush it. Who we got next? Hello.
Hello, my friend.
What's going on, man?
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Nice to meet you. What I wanted to ask is, maybe 2 weeks ago, I just went through my first breakup. So I'm like asking for like any tips or stuff like that, like how I should do it.
Okay. How old are you?
23 in October.
Okay. And how long were you in a relationship with her?
Quite short, 5 months.
5 months.
She was my first everything, like first relationship, first everything, I would say.
Gotcha. Okay. So the first step is, brother, you gotta grieve the connection. So you need to feel, right? You gotta feel whatever emotions that you have connected to this situation. A lot of people, when they go through breakups, they try to avoid the discomfort of those emotions. So they try to distract themselves. They often do this by getting a rebound, right? In an attempt to avoid grief, they find another person to bury themselves into. So you want to feel whatever emotions that come up from the situation, right? That's how you process an emotion. You don't process an emotion by thinking about it. You process an emotion by feeling it, okay? So the first thing is you need to feel whatever is going on, all right? The second thing you want to do is you want to fully remove your attention from this person. So that means you're not watching, you're not following them on social media. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to unfollow them, but at least have them muted. You shouldn't be watching their stories or anything like that. You have to fully remove your attention away from them. That also means any pictures you have of them, any text messages that y'all shared, right? When you stop watering a plant, it dies. So if you stop watering this connection with your attention, it will fully die, and therefore you can fully move on. You can't move on if you're still emotionally and energetically invested in this connection. All right. And the last thing I would tell you is to spend time with people who you have good connections with, so like family, friends, people who want the best for you. That kind of lifts up your energy a bit. And coupled with that is you turn the pain into progress. Okay. So the pain that you're feeling is energy. The emotions that we talked about are energy, right? You can use that energy for productivity. That's why a lot of guys get into the best shape of their life after breakups. A lot of women do the same thing. A lot of people tend to make immense progress on something after a breakup because all those emotions are just potential energy, right? That's what an emotion is, energy and motion, right? So you can use that energy to make progress. You do those things, this painful experience will quickly become a positive one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Make sense?
that makes sense. Yeah, I already did like block her and throw away all the gifts and stuff like that because I think like a clean break would work better.
Yes.
Like so there's like out of sight, out of mind kind of thing, you know?
Exactly. You got it. So you're already making progress, brother. Just keep along that path and you'll be fine. 5-month connection, you'll be over this in no time.
Yeah, I think what happened with like a good thing that happened was it wasn't like she did something bad. It's like I don't resent her. It's just kind of we were different people, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good way of looking at it.
For the advice.
Absolutely, brother. Best of luck to you, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. King Kev, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm good. I greet you especially. How you doing?
Good. What can I do for you?
Okay. I want to ask, what is wrong with an African man living in Africa, living in a part of Africa, wanting to spend the rest of his life with a woman from another race? Like, I'm trying to like, the bridge between a typical African man and a typical international woman, most especially from America, on some part of Europe, you know, like it's so difficult to build a bridge of trust, a bridge of commitment with someone out there, like an international person, you know. So I'm like trying to like ask for your help to help me position, like what can I do differently from what I'm doing right now? Because as for me, I'm looking at dating somebody who's outside my race and hopefully make them my potential wife. And that kind of seemed like a difficult task because each and every time I find somebody, like it's good the first week, the second week, third week, a month, 2 months, and on the long run, I don't know, probably they just lose interest, and not because I am not committed, not because I'm not honest, not because, but I just simply think that the problem revolves around distance. So I'm asking, is there a way that I could, you know, um, bridge up that gap and probably give a potential woman, like a potential date, like that sense of trust, like this is my intention. I am coming with a genuine intention to want to know you. I genuinely want to know you. I genuinely want to like date you and coach you and hopefully spend the rest of
Okay.
my life
All
with
right.
you.
Hold on,
Like,
brother. Hold on, brother. Why? Okay. So you say you're in Africa. What?
yes,
Why are you trying to date women of a different race?
because I already had that vision as a child. To be honest, like
Why?
I just wanted like I want to spend the rest of my life with somebody that is not from my side, like that is not from my hometown, my name, like my nation. I just want somebody who's from a different culture. Like that question, why do I want this? Sometimes I find it difficult to answer that question because it's my desire. It's what I want. Like
No.
I don't.
Incorrect. Hold on. Incorrect. No. You have to know the answer to the question. You getting frustrated with people asking it is you being frustrated with yourself because you don't know why you want it. You need to know why you want it. You have to know why you want it. There's a reason why you want it, and you need to be able to articulate the reason why you want it, right? Secondly, what type of women are you trying to date?
I'm trying to date a single woman, like a woman who has never been married, or a woman who doesn't have a child, or like somebody who's fresh, like you
So
know,
what race?
um, outside of Africa.
Okay, so just a woman who's not in Africa.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, and you're trying to date someone on a different continent.
Yes.
Why would somebody want to date someone on a different continent?
Because
Not you, not you, not you. But why would the woman you want to date someone on another continent?
okay, because I feel like probably they might be suffering from the same thing that I am suffering from, like getting like
What are you
not just
what are
being
you what are you suffering from? You haven't even explained that. What are you suffering from?
like not settling for the type of people that are within my reach or our reach. Like I don't want people around because I feel like the familiarity is like too much and probably we know ourselves too much or something, and the culture is like kind of you know not helping the situation, and you probably sometimes you need somebody who thinks outside the box, who sees things differently, who
Brother, you're not making any sense. I'm gonna be honest with you. You're not making a lick of sense. So you think that you're different from everyone in Africa?
no.
So you think that you're the only one in Africa who thinks outside the box?
No.
Okay, then
That's not
what are you even talking about? I'm not understanding.
I'm trying to say that sometimes you like I see a lot of international women who are like they've dated people from the same locality, from the same continent, and probably they see them as like these people don't. They just want to taste different. They just want to see different. They just feel like, okay, I'm too used to this culture. I'm too used to this type of people because in every society, as large as the world is, we all have different people with different and different communities with different character traits and everything. So like, so that's why they say when you go to Rome, you gotta behave like a Roman. So like, maybe you're a Roman lady, and probably you don't want to date no more Roman man. Like, you want to go to men from like,
Brother, that's not what you're talking about. What you're talking about, I'm gonna stop you right there. It sounds like you have a fantasy of what you think people on other continents are like. Have you ever left Africa?
no.
Okay, so yeah, you have a fantasy of what it's like outside of Africa. It's not grounded in reality. You have a fantasy, right? Fantasies are not real.
Okay.
Right? So it sounds like you're not having a good time dating in Africa. And you're thinking, well, maybe I need to date someone outside of Africa.
Right.
Right? Africa's a big fucking place though. So it's like, and it's not a monolith. I've never even been to Africa, but I know conceptually that different countries within Africa probably are different, right? So, and the people probably are different. So you have a fantasy that you built up in your head of what it's like to go to a different continent and date. And I promise you will be disappointed. I promise you. Because one, no one in America is dreaming of dating someone in Africa. You want to know why? Because there's so many people in America. Why would I even think about dating someone in Africa when there's so many people in America? You're trying to escape Africa and escape the experience. You're not moving towards something you want. You're running from something that you don't like. That's your problem. Right? And you're not going to ultimately get what you want with that, because the only woman who would want to date you on like a whole nother continent, the only one, like, imagine how many men, if she gets on a flight, she's in America, imagine how many men she has to fly over just to get to you. How many guys, millions of guys she has to fly over just to get to you. Why would anyone in their right mind do that?
Just to find the perfect person,
there is no perfect person. And just because someone's on a different continent does not make them better than the people on the current continent. Right? So the only woman who would want to date someone in Africa like that and bypass everyone else in their own country is either a woman who's from Africa and she misses where she's from, or a very desperate weirdo.
Wow.
Okay? So it's best for you to kind of make things work where you're at. And if you want to try out other places, go to those other places. That way you bypass like people who are weird and are trying to date people on other continents. Okay?
Right.
All right, brother.
I get your advice right now. So it's just to get to that place, then find people from around there. I don't have to look for that from all the distance away. Right?
Yes. And if you're not doing well with the women on your continent, you're not going to do well with women on other continents, unless they just are fetishizing you, which is not a real relationship.
All right.
Okay. All right, man. Best of luck to you.
Thank you, man.
Uh-huh. Whoa. Very interesting situations. Very interesting situations. All right, let's keep it moving. The whole continent, huh? You're not fucking with the whole continent. I've never heard that before. Ariana, what's going on, love?
Hi. Quick update on the guy I told you about. So we were supposed to meet this weekend, right? He lives 2 hours 40 minutes away drive from me. So he said he was gonna come pick me up, and then we'd go back together to his place. And then I was like, at first I was like, I don't know if I want to go to your place as yet, you know?
Right.
But essentially I was like, okay, whatever, fine. Maybe he just wants to spend time with me and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because I made it clear, like, I don't do hookups, first dates. I don't do that.
Right.
And then he was like, I respect that. I could tell the first time I met you. Anyways, so, yeah, fine. We planned the trip. And then I get a text at 3 a.m. And he was like, hey, is there a way that, you know, you can find a way to go back? Because I don't think I'm going to be able to drive you back.
Whoa.
So I was like, I mean, if we're taking one car going there, how am I gonna, you know, come back? Anyway, so that turned me off, first of all, because why are you so last minute indecisive? That was a major turn off to me. And also I told him, but I'm planning on coming that side on the 25th, so, you know, we could spend time when I come there. And then he's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine, but are you going to be able to spend enough time with me? Will you be able to, you know, like, come to my place and spend time with me? I'm like, I don't need to come to your place to spend time with you, dude. We can literally spend time without having to go to your place. And yeah, I just sent him a text saying that right now. But I'm already turned off. I don't even think I want to talk to this guy anymore because it's giving, you know, it's just not my thing. It's giving, no. You know what it's giving.
I know what it's giving. Sounds like you know what it's giving, so what's your question?
My question is, am I overreacting or, like, you know, it's giving what it's giving?
You're not overreacting. It's giving what it's giving. Yes.
Okay.
I think you're reading the situation accurately. All right. Trying to get you to the crib. And this is first date, right?
Well, second.
Okay. What did y'all do for the first date?
We just hang around people.
You just hung around people?
Yeah, like we went out a game night. The second time after I met him, the first time I met him randomly at a like in-house party type of thing.
Right.
And then he invited me the next day to a game night at his friend's house. That was it.
Okay. And he lives 2.5 hours away from you.
Correct.
And he wants to pick you up and then drive you back to his city?
That was the initial plan. Like, he's gonna come here and then I would came back on Sunday.
Okay, so you were going to stay multiple days in his city?
Correct.
Okay. That makes sense.
And I was like, I could get a hotel there. I'm not comfortable with sleeping at your place. I don't know you like that. He's like, why would you spend money on a hotel? Just, you can even take my room. I'll take the couch. Literally, I don't want to do anything with you. I just want to be able to spend time with you. That's all. But, man, I am too old, mature. I know what it's giving, and I know it's giving what it's giving. And guess what? I told him, I'm on my period, dude, so I hope you know that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, I don't care. Why do you keep mentioning that? Like, I'm not even trying to sleep with you. I just want to get to know you, because I know you live far, and I want to know if it's going to be, like, worth, you know, pursuing. Like, are we going to do this? If we're doing this, we have to just, you know one another before we commit to this long distance relationship.
At what point did he say, can you get a drive back? Was it after y'all had this whole back and forth about whether or not y'all going to sleep together?
Yeah, it was after.
Okay. Yeah, so that makes sense. Him telling you, can you get a ride back, occurring after you made it very clear y'all weren't going to sleep together? Because it was that time of the month, wouldn't make sense. Why he's like, well, I'm certainly not taking that many trips for something that may not go my way.
All right, thank you. I already know what to do. Blocked.
Right. You're blocking? You're not going to even communicate
I'm
first?
not even gonna wait for the reply. I'm too old for this. I don't have time for these type of games. It's so sad because he seemed like a good guy, but honestly, if it's giving it's giving, I don't even have to wait for another significant sign. I just like it's giving what it's giving, and that's
What was his reason for you to drive back?
What was his reason for me to drive back? Because he has work the next day in the morning, so he's like, I might be tired, you know.
And
so
okay,
so
he already knew that he had work the next day. When did y'all come up with these plans?
It was a last minute thing. Yesterday.
Okay.
So it was very last minute, and before that, he knew I was on my period. Anyway.
Before he even made these plans, he knew that?
Yeah.
That changes things a little bit.
But I don't understand the concept of me going to his house though. Like, why do I have to?
He probably will want to spend maximal amount of time with you. Right? So if he knew about it being that time of the month before he even made the plans to come get you, that's different. That's different.
Yeah, he knew because I was complaining about my cramps. So
Right.
he knew.
Right. I know for some people don't stop anything, but you know, she's verbally saying nothing's going to happen, and it's that time of the month. If this is a last minute plan, so he could wait another week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He could just wait another week, but he seems to be fixating on like seeing you here because maybe there's an opening here. Again, I've always told women, you can't look at it as, okay, if he tries to sleep with me, then that's a turn off, right? It's like men are going to try to sleep with you. It's the feminine's role to be like, no, not yet, right? They're going to try though. You can't you don't want the guy who doesn't try because he's not trying, not because he doesn't want to, but because he's, I don't want to be rejected. What if she hurts my feelings by rejecting me? That's just weak. He has a weak disposition. Okay?
Yeah.
You don't want him to force it either. Like, forcing is bad also. But an attempt, that's not a red flag. Consistent attempts after a solidified boundary is also a red flag. But the initial attempt, you can't look at that as like being a bad thing. Okay?
Yeah.
But there is, like, I do genuinely see the concern about like the lack of planning here.
Yeah.
That is something that's the real signal here of like, what do you want to deal with somebody like that? Because we could just move this to like another day where it makes more sense.
Right.
Or you can come here and stay and get a hotel. We can spend time together.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Right.
So do I block or what am I doing? What am I doing? Because mentally I was ready to block.
What I'm saying is if the lack of planning is really a big thing for you, because he's probably going to be somebody who does, by these plans being made so quickly and him realizing that he has to work the next day, so he may not be able to drive you back, then that is character. That's like that's who he is. Not like that's a bad thing, but it's more so that gives you insight on like how compatible you are, because he likely isn't like a planning type of person, and you're seeing the manifestation of that right now.
Right.
So now it's a question of, is that a big enough thing for you to say, oh, we're incompatible, I'm not going to do it? Or is it like, well, you seem to be successful even with this disposition, and I am someone who's a planner, so if we were to get together, then I would just be the planner in the relationship. A lot of people's relationships are like that. I'm not a planner for real. I'm better than he is, but that's not how I am. I'm more like, Yeah, I'm gonna make a little mock plan real quick, and then we're just gonna. I'm more of an iterate as I go type of person. So it's really just a matter of what you want to do. This isn't a red. This isn't like big red flag territory. This is more of a compatibility conversation.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I'll think on it. To be fair, it's not too much of a red flag for me because I'm a planner, I guess.
Okay.
But
And if you
at
don't
the
feel
same
comfortable,
time,
if you don't feel comfortable staying with him either, tell him that you're going to get a hotel. And if he won't allow you to get a hotel, then that's a sign that he's not respecting boundaries. And then we're in red flag territory.
yeah,
Okay.
perfect. Yeah.
So that's the plan. Don't stay with him. Tell him you're going to get a hotel. You can handle the ride back. If he keeps harping on you staying with him after you've told him multiple times that you were going to get a hotel, now we have another signal, which is you don't respect boundaries. Therefore, now I'm really asking the situation.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how you play this.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Thank you.
All right, keep me updated. All right.
Okay. I will.
All right. We're gonna get Ariana married within the year. Also, if you want a hour-long coaching call with 2 weeks of DM support, so I can help you for 2 weeks after we have the coaching call, hit this button at the bottom of the screen with the arrow inside the dialog box. Shoot me a message. I will ask you about what's going on in your situation. If I can help you, I will send you the link for you to book your call. Okay? All right. Who else do we have? Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
I was just wondering, like, what's the best way to make long distance work? My partner and I live an hour and a half with train, or more than that, an hour 50 with train.
Okay.
And I was just wondering, like, what are the best ways to, like, what's normal to expect? And I don't know. I don't know how to formulate my question. Sorry.
Okay, you're fine. You're fine. So how do you make this long distance connection work? How long have y'all been in a relationship?
So we met and have been dating since September, and we became official in like February.
Okay, so it's a new relationship.
Yeah.
Has there been any problems that caused you to ask this question, or are you just like kind of getting anxious about it?
There has been. So we had a really nice like beginning, and then we actually went to travel on our second trip in January. But then I'm very close to my family, so my parents, they felt uneasy with just letting me go to Asia with this guy. So like they really wanted to meet him, and then I expressed to him like, oh, they're feeling some type of way, and he was like, oh, I want to meet them so they feel calm and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we met the parents in January, end of January, and then now it was that I was supposed to meet his parents in April. But then stuff happened like with the family, like his grandma, and I already like prepared a gift basket for the parents. I'm a giver, so it's yeah. And then he said that he wanted me to come there anyways, like he wanted me to be there anyways, like at his place. So then I brought the package and I was like, I already prepared it, it's like you can just give them if it's like, yeah, like you should just give them to show that I'm thinking of them and stuff like that. And so I left it there, and then when I came back, like a week later, he hadn't given the package, but he told me that he did. And I don't know, and then he lied about it, so I was confused. And I was like, oh, so if you can lie about these small things, maybe there's like other things that you're hiding. And I don't know, and then it made me anxious about this long distance thing. That's what I meant.
Okay, so it sounds like the distance isn't the problem.
Yeah, probably, because I don't know, am I overreacting? Or is it like a valid
So
thing?
so you told him to give his parents or grandparents a gift that you prepared for them, and
Yeah, it's
then
like I was gonna meet the parents,
uh
and I had like made a little gift basket like with a flower, like an orchid, and like a bunch of Easter stuff. So, but it wasn't like an overwhelming gift. Like I'm trying to find their acceptance. Just like it's in my culture. So then I did that, and then I was like, I removed the Easter card just to make it like, oh, thinking of you guys. I hope you get through, because it's his mom's mom that fell ill. So I gave it to him to give to them later after I left. But then, yeah.
okay. And how did you find out that he didn't give it to them?
It was actually, he had made food, and then I was like, oh, just like rest, I can do the dishes. So I was gonna do the dishes, and when I clean, I like to like clean everything because I'm a bit of a neat freak. So then I was like, oh, let me just get the broom and like sweep the floor because I couldn't stand it. And then when I went into this little closet, I saw the gift basket. And I was like, whoa. Yeah.
How much time passed?
I'm gonna say a week and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like the flowers were dead and shit.
They're orchids, so they don't need that much water. Okay. They had bloomed out.
Okay.
So they weren't like dead, but they were the way I wanted them to like look at their place,
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. And hold on one second. Let me block somebody. All right. So, and he told you that he did give them the gift. Like, how did he sell that? Did he say they loved it? Like, what did he say?
Yeah, he said that like, oh, they really appreciate it, and they were happy about the flower, and like, oh, because I hadn't gone through the box, and we saw that you put a bunch of things, like it was so thoughtful, like everything was like color matched and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, so you guys really like looked through it, and then it wasn't.
Okay, so he sold it. He sold it like they were like overjoyed by the gift. Okay, and so did you approach him about this?
So I went back to the kitchen, and I was thinking about like how I'm supposed to say this, and then I also there was also a fridge magnet from Singapore, because I had like prepared this mentally for a long time, and I saw the magnet on his fridge.
Say it again. I didn't catch it.
I saw it on his fridge.
You saw what on his fridge?
The magnet. The
fridge
magnet.
What fridge magnet?
I put in the gift.
Oh, that you put in the gift. So he went through it and they took the magnet out. Like, I like this. And they threw it on the. Wow. Okay, so he definitely just went through it. All right. So did you say anything to him about it?
Yeah, I asked him, and then he said that he got really like, oh my god. Sorry, I'm Swedish, so I'm trying to translate.
Okay.
He was like, he was really stressed. Like, he didn't, he got stressed about the situation, and then he didn't do it, and then he knew that I would be disappointed that he didn't go and give it there, like, when he said he would, and that he was gonna give it later, and then he said, like, because his parents can be a bit, like, judgment or something. It was like, he was sorry about it. He said it was really stupid, and he wants to give it, and da-da-da, but I was really disappointed. I said that this makes me feel really sad.
Right.
That's what I said.
Right. That was my next question. His uniform. Are y'all like different races?
Yeah, he is white. He's Polish and Swedish, and I'm a Zambian, but I moved here when I was a baby, so.
Okay. And he said his parents could be a bit judgmental.
Yeah, and I have noticed this, like, they can be, like, very coddling.
Very what?
Like, like, they're, like, super involved. Like, they can be, protective of their child.
I
From
get it.
what I've gathered.
My brain's going racist. That's where my brain went. It's not just like replace you with a white woman or a Polish woman, and she did the exact same thing. Is he giving them the gifts? Feels like the answer to that question is yes.
Yeah.
So that's a different problem. Because I would say the first I was like, okay, this is a liar. You can't deal with a liar. But then this is a big issue that even a non-liar would lie about. Make sense?
Okay.
So there's some people who like lie, and it's like, okay, you just lie. There's other people where it's like it's contextual. It's like, well, with this, I don't know what to do in this situation because I can't control them. I don't want you to get hurt, so let me just tell you what you want to hear, which is not the ideal, but at least you can understand it. But the question for you is, if that is the truth, like the next step is I would get more clarity around how are they judgmental.
Yeah.
Right? I'll get clarity on that to get him, like, if they don't like, people with different colored skin than them, especially not in a romantic context, you need to know that. So, like, have a conversation about that. And if that is the case, you have to really consider, is this someone that you want to be with? Which is unfortunate, but you got to think long term, right? Like, let's say, for instance, you have children with this person. Now the child's being subjected to that.
Exactly. I did bring it up to him. I asked him, I was like, are there any interracial, relationships in your family? And he said, not really, black or, Arab or something like that, very far away, just, from different countries. I'm so sorry. So he said that, no, it's not really that. So they can be, they're very, worried people. So they can, worry about things and they can ask questions. Then you would think that they're being, judgmental, but they're just, they want to know everything,
Right, but how does that have anything to do about the flowers? I would ask more questions. You got to get to specifics. If it doesn't make, you ask questions. That's the same thing I do on these lives. I ask y'all questions until it makes sense to me. So you ask questions until it makes sense to you. Just saying judgmental doesn't make sense. Judgmental about what? Protective about what? Okay, how does that connect to the flowers? What made you not want to give the flowers? I'm just trying to understand. I'm not accusing you of anything, but just try to help me understand what about the flowers coming from, if somebody else gave you these flowers, would you be more comfortable giving it to them, right? So and don't just listen to the words, also look at how comfortable he is answering the question, right? So you got to really pick up on it.
No, this is...
Say it again, you kind of disconnected.
Oh, no, I said this is really great. I'm even writing it down.
Okay.
Thank you. So, yeah.
No problem, bro. Definitely keep me posted on how things go, all right?
Okay. And if he is a liar, what would one do in that situation?
Leave. You can't be with a liar. You can't be with a liar. You can't have a relationship with someone who lies. You just can't. Because it's for a relationship to deepen, you need intimacy. And you'll only cultivate intimacy if you're able to be vulnerable. And you're only going to want to be vulnerable and open yourself up with someone that you can trust. And you can't trust a liar. So, if you can't trust a liar, you won't be vulnerable. And if you're not vulnerable, you can't cultivate deeper intimacy. And if you can't cultivate deeper intimacy, the relationship can't grow.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much.
No problem,
Appreciate it.
Best of luck to you, all right?
Okay, bye.
She sounded sweet. Hopefully it works out for her. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, so...
Your voice sounds, it's like I'm talking to a talking cat right now. Your voice matches your profile pic.
Thank you. I think that's a compliment.
Right.
Okay, so I got a couple questions. One is, I'll just get straight to the point, give you a little backstory. So myself and my girlfriend, we are very long distance. Been talking to each other. We've been a thing for about 6 months. I am unfortunately in England, whereas she resides in America. But we have met up. I stayed with her for a couple of weeks. We're very good in person. And without going into so much detail, out of respect for her privacy, she unfortunately suffers with BPD. Right. So that can make things interesting.
Quiet or loud?
Quiet for the most part, but whenever we have arguments, she's never been outright very disrespectful to me, but she'll become immediately dry out of nowhere. She'll kind of turn into an avoidant sort of thing if that situation occurs.
Right.
And then I'm kind of chasing her, trying to understand her. When she gets into these moods, she thinks, she gets it in her head that I'm not listening to her, or that I don't care about her and stuff like that. And I tried to show her that I'm listening, but I'm right now finding it very hard to do so. I tried to have a talk with her last night about it, since we had a little argument, and I said to her, okay, well, what can I do in order for you to feel more heard? Because I want things to work out. This is my first serious relationship, right? And I genuinely love her to bits, and with all her ups and downs, I want to be there for her. I just want to know how I can make her feel more heard, how I can understand her better, make her feel like I'm listening to her.
Gotcha. How did y'all meet?
A lot of people judge for this. We met over a game online.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm 22 years old.
Okay. And how long have you been together again?
About 6 months.
6 months. How frequently or how many times have you seen her in person?
Once. For 2 weeks.
Okay.
We're next meeting up in June.
Okay. And did you go to her or did she come to you?
I went to her.
Okay. How was that?
This time around, so I'm going to be going to her for a week. And then after that week, she's actually coming back with me, and she's going to live with me in my apartment for a couple months to see how things go. And then we are going to fly back to her, to where she lives, because her family's invited me on their annual vacation. And so that's the deal at the moment. But
okay. How is she managing her BPD?
Whenever she has an issue, she'll get upset about it, and then, a couple hours will pass or something, or she'll sleep it off, and she struggles to talk to me about how she feels sometimes, and she'll just say she doesn't remember what, made her feel that way. Sometimes that's the case, but sometimes I genuinely think she just doesn't want to talk about it. It's always like, oh, we'll talk about it later or something, and later never comes.
My brother in Christ.
I'm the type of person.
Listen.
If there's a problem, I want to talk it through.
Right.
Make sure we're both.
I hear you.
No resentment going on.
Listen though, BPD ain't nothing to play with.
Oh yeah.
That shit ain't. Listen to hear me. That ain't nothing to play with. I asked you how she managed it, and you told me she takes naps. That means she's not. That means she's not managing it, and that means the relationship likely ain't gonna work. I'm just gonna be blunt with you, because there's nothing you can do on your end. You're talking about someone who has like a disorder. You can't do shit with that. That's like someone being with a narcissist and being like, "How can I get my narcissist to like love me?" It's like you can't. What do you mean? Can't. You're treating it like they don't have the disorder. That's a question you asked for someone who doesn't have a disorder. That's not what you're dealing with. You're not dealing with that. So BPD has wild swings. You are either an angel to them or you are the devil incarnate.
Yes.
One of the two. And there's no middle ground. They either pedestalize you or they, look at you as a worm in the dirt. That's it. And you're going to be one of those two things. And it's not even going to be predicated on what you do. It's going to be predicated on how she feels in the moment. She can't even tell you what set her off because she don't know. So Melissa just said with the splitting, that's a different person you're dealing with when they split. Completely different. It's almost like a multiple personality disorder. It's a completely different person. You got 2 girlfriends. You're having threesomes. Did you know that? You're sleeping with her. You're having threesomes. This person is multiple people in one. So if you told me that she was managing it, that would be a different situation. That would give you a possible wiggle room. But considering that she's not, the thing that's saving you right now is the distance. That's the thing that's saving you.
I can see how you think that. We argue a lot more over distance. We spent, like I said previously, we spent 2 weeks together. There were no issues. It was amazing.
Right, it was amazing. Do you know why it was amazing? Do you know why it was amazing? Because the version of her that you got was the one that looked at you as an angel. That's why BPD is so addictive. When men find women with BPD, it's addictive because the good is really fucking good. Because she's treating you like the second coming of Jesus Christ. That's how she's treating you. But as good as she treats you, she will treat you the equivalent of that in the opposite direction if she splits or starts viewing you differently, or when she starts viewing you differently. And then they'll oscillate between. They'll go between. Sometimes she pedestalizes you. Sometimes she looks at you as evil. And then other times you're Jesus. The other times you're the devil. And she's going to treat you appropriately. So you're going to do what you want. I can't tell you what to do, brother, but I am going to tell you many horror stories begin exactly this way, right? I get that you want to connect with this person, but I will also tell you that when people tend to make these extremely long distance connections, the problem is really upstream. And the upstream problem is they have not figured out how to date effectively where they currently are. That's why they're open to the long distance. But when you don't solve your actual problem, which is being able to really connect with people near you, you create the conditions for you to connect with people who are far away from you, who have some sort of dysfunction, which is the reason why they're connecting with you from such a distance.
Well, yeah, I understand. And, believe me, I've done my research into it. And, sometimes it does take its toll, mentally. But I don't know if this is going to be necessarily healthy to say, but regardless of that, I feel like I want to keep going for her.
Okay.
And so the reason why I decided to try and speak to you regarding this is I just want to know if there's any advice that you have.
I wish I
to
could
manage a situation.
If I could help you, or if anyone could help you, I would tell you, I would give you a different answer. Really, I really would. I would tell you, just do this and this will help you. There is no answer for stuff like this. Again, the equivalent is, how can I get my narcissist to stop being mean to me? That's what you're asking me, right? So if she has to take medication, even with that, it's still going to be a problem. And you can't make her do it either. Believe me, she probably would already be doing it if she wanted to. It sounds like she don't want to.
Yeah, we spoke about it one time, and she said she doesn't want to live as a different person under this medication stuff,
Right. So now she's giving you a firm no.
Open to changing that decision in the future. I don't know.
Right.
But that was the answer I got a few months ago.
Right. So you do what you want, brother. You do what you want, but I suspect that when she does live with you for those months, you are going to be singing a different tune.
well, I suppose I'll cross that bridge when it comes to it.
All right, bro.
Let's just ignore, put the fact she has BPD to the side for a second.
You can't though. Just understand, you can't put it to the side.
I understand.
Okay.
Would you have any advice?
Nope. That's the thing. I can't. There's no advice. Hey, I'm dating a serial killer. How do I not make them kill me?
Ignore the BPD thing for a moment.
You see what I'm saying?
Imagine, you have two people who are, on the same page, nothing like that going on. How, if one person says that they're not being heard sometimes, how can the...
Brother, you're not hearing me. You're not hearing me. You're not hearing me. She's not being heard because she has BPD. Do you think I can talk to you right now? I can tell you that a regular woman is not going to tell you she's not heard. Because you sound like you want to hear them. You sound like someone who's very attentive to a woman that you're dating. If she told you what her favorite flower was once in conversation, you'll remember it for months, if not years.
Spot on.
Right? You're that type of guy. So this, you being that type of guy and she's telling you she doesn't feel heard, that's not an objective feedback. She feels that way because she has fucking BPD. And that changes how she perceives things. There's nothing you can do. That's why I'm telling you, like, I very rarely, listen, I don't know if you're new here, but if there is something workable in a relationship, I would tell you. Because I know how painful it is to cut people off. I would 100% tell you. I promise you I would. There ain't nothing workable here. If you told me that she was taking her meds, okay, cool. Let's find out how we can work with that. Yeah, that ain't the case though.
Okay, what about the times when she's not splitting, but she's acting differently to before?
It's all connected to BPD, brother.
It's all connected. Okay. Okay. So basically, that's fuck all I can do.
There's nothing you can do. There's absolutely nothing you can do. You can't convince her to take her meds. You're probably one of many who've tried. That probably would cause her to split. You trying to get her to take her meds. And cause her to look at you as the devil. You're just like everybody else trying to change me. You see what I'm saying? So, tread lightly. Definitely follow up. I can't wait to hear you were right. It's going to come. I'm telling you. This is nothing to play with, man. I don't know if you saw like the Johnny Depp situation when he was dating Amber Heard and she was taking shits in his bed.
Yes.
BPD. And she was like making him react to things and saying things to him and recording him, making him seem like he was the crazy person. BPD.
Oh, she's nowhere near that bad.
You don't know because you're long distance. Do you think Johnny Depp thought Amber Heard was that bad when they first met?
Yeah, I suppose that's... Yeah.
Right. It was after they actually got really close and lived together when it was like it got that bad. So tread lightly. That's all I'm telling you. I said my piece. Only you can make the decision because it's your life, Chief. But definitely follow up though. Definitely. And when you do follow up, I promise you, I'm not gonna rub it in. I'm not gonna say I told you so. I'll just help you. I'll help you recover the pieces. But definitely follow up. All right.
Okay. Well. I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
No problem, Chief. You take care. Who has experience with BPD, by the way? I'm curious. Anybody with any kind of BPD experience? Also, if y'all want the 1 hour coaching call with the 2 weeks of DM support, you hit this button at the bottom of the screen with the arrow inside of the square. Shoot me a message. I'll be in touch. So 1 hour coaching call with 2 weeks of DM support so we can help you implement what we talked about during the call. So you said, I do. Okay, so what's y'all's experience been with BPD? My sister committed suicide because of BPD. I'm sorry to hear that, Mimi. That's tough. This is our second BPD relationship this week. Is it? I don't remember talking to anybody else about BPD. No, I think someone else had bipolar disorder. It wasn't borderline personality disorder. Those are different things. It's horrifying. Dealt with it with someone with it. Okay. I have BPD. Okay. Yeah, BPD ain't nothing to play with, bro. That ain't nothing to play with. Oh, I don't know why I thought they were the same. Mm-mm. It's emotionally exhausting. I think my brother's girlfriend had, and she was low key crazy. Right, right. Why would anyone knowingly get in a relationship with someone with BPD? Because, like I said, when that situation, that gentleman, respect to him, but his problem is upstream. It's like when they say if you're starving, you'll eat anything, right? Similar to the guy who called in from Africa. They're just not having luck dealing with people in their area. So then they get online and then they encounter someone else who probably also isn't having good luck. And then they connect. All right? Not all BPD are alike. Yeah, I mean, there's quiet and then there's loud. I asked him which kind she had. He said quiet. Neither is good though. Both have significant issues. So the difference from my understanding between quiet and loud is quiet BPD, you make yourself the problem. So the way that you would be mean or very critical and just evil to the person you're dealing with, it's internal. So you think yourself, you are a piece of shit, right? Loud is like the other person. You externalize it. Both are problems. Both are problems. You want to be with the one who's like looking at herself and treating herself very poorly, and you want to manage that? That's draining, man. That's significantly draining. It sucks for the people who deal with it, which is why it's like get the help, right? Get the help that you need. But a lot of people who have these mental health disorders, like they don't want to take the medication, which I get sometimes. Like they feel differently on it, or maybe some can lead to weight gain, stuff like that. Like I get it. You look at like Kanye West, right, with bipolar. Like I think his medication made him gain weight. That's why he was really chubby for a while. Some people don't like that shit. Maybe he feels like he can fix her. No, he's not having a good time dating people where he is, and this is his opportunity. So he's clinging to it. So the real solution is going to be creating more optionality where he lives. Once we give him more optionality where he lives, he'll be more likely to let go of bad connections. But when you were like, I can't get any woman but this one, yeah, you're going to hold on to her. What's going on, man?
What's going on, brother?
Chilling. What can I do for you?
Hey, so let's start like this. So, me and my ex broke up about 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
She's currently in the Army. I met her obviously in the same, in town. We've been together for 3 years. We broke up about, like I said, 3 weeks ago. I want to say 4 weeks ago. I did the begging, for about a week. The moment I fought back, she came back, wanted to fix things, but she's kind of, she pretty much for a whole week straight, she didn't want to be with me. She wasn't ready. She fully didn't close the doors, but she finally came back, and told me, hey, can we talk? Currently now I'm texting her, asking her questions, like just, regular questions. She still has an attitude. Pretty much the reason why we broke up was I'm a truck driver, and she's obviously in the Army. It's as stressful as it is out there. And, we kept arguing for like 2 months straight. She let she pretty much wanted to, I initiated the breakup. She came back. But, she wants me to fly to Hawaii. That's where she's at. We're currently doing long distance right now. She wants me to fly to Hawaii right now. She even, paid for my flight ticket, my clothes pretty much. But like I said, she still kind of has like the same attitude, kind of disrespecting me, whenever we broke up. Because that was the thing that was kind of bothering me. She was kind of disrespecting me, because her family, her sister has a, big anger problems, and also, her mom. And, like, is that normal, for her, to kind of be that way when she, is that stress from the Army? she's not with her family right now. Both her brothers are in jail. Is that like something I got? I gotta accept. That she's in the army. She has, her brothers are both locked up. Her mom lives in a different country. Is that like a lot of stress she got in her right now? Is that the reason why she's kind of like disrespecting me? Because I keep asking her, like, why you keep doing it? She says she doesn't really mean to.
How is she disrespecting you?
So pretty much, it's like, like, let's say yesterday she went to a different station or whatever. I asked her, hey, are you with your sergeant, or are you with your coworkers? She was like, oh, why you asking me questions? Right now we're not together. That's the reason why I want you to come to Hawaii to so we could talk about everything. Like I said, she offered to pay everything for me to do a talk to her. But before, she was disrespecting. I mean, I guess I want to say I'm a little bit anxious, asking her questions. But every time I ask her more than 3 questions, she gets like upset. She gets overwhelmed. Like, I don't know if that's just like from her, being in the army, or I mean, like I said, her sisters are kind of the same way with their partners. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know if I'm putting too much pressure on her, asking her questions, or just me being anxious, wanting to hear what I want to hear when I'm not gonna get what I want, pretty much, because she's kind of like an avoidant. She kind of like falls back whenever she feels like overwhelmed. And like, whenever I want to talk about problems, me personally, I like to talk about the problems and fix it. But when I ever talk to her about the problem, she kind of gets like really upset and kind of don't want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm trying to say is, is it, like I said, she already paid for the plane tickets and everything for me to fly to her.
Wait, so why did y'all break up again?
So we broke up because she kind of, I mean, I trust her completely, but she kind of like, I'm thinking, I'm driving trucks. I'm drive semi trucks. She gives me all the, everything she's doing. She tells me, she's honest with me. But then there's days that, I talk to her and it's like she has a whole attitude. You know what I'm saying? Like, it goes from a week straight. But, I don't know if that's just, from her being in the army, being overwhelmed, or that's just, I don't know what it is.
So for like a week straight, she'll have an attitude?
She'll have an attitude. No, it's like I said, her family has like the same attitude. Her sister, her mom,
Okay, stop talking. I don't want to hear about the family. Just how long does she have an attitude when she has an attitude with you?
Well, she been having her attitude, but it didn't got crazier until she came to the army. Like, when we were together, she wasn't really. I mean, yeah, she'll kind of have her little attitude, but we were seeing each other, so she'll kind of like apologize to me every day whenever she did it. But now, whenever she's in the army, like I said, I don't know if that's just stress I'm putting in her.
Brother, I just need you to answer the question, not like give me your hypotheses, okay? So,
okay.
She gets an attitude with you, and she's always had an attitude, but it has become more aggressive since she's been in the army, right? And she'll have the attitude randomly. How long does the attitude typically last?
Well, I mean, it's like I said, whenever I ask her questions, like I said, I don't know if she's overwhelmed. Whenever I ask her questions, she has her attitude.
What kind of questions are you asking her?
No, like, just a regular, I'm not where she's at, just asking, regular questions.
Brother,
like,
brother, I need you to just answer the question. You're doing a whole bunch of you're telling me a bunch of words and you're not saying anything. So just, and very, as short as you possibly can, because this is how you talking to her, I'm seeing where the attitude comes from. I'm starting to get one. I'm about to get attitude. So just tell me really quick, all right? First question I have for you is, why did y'all break up as quickly as you can?
Pretty much her attitude.
Her attitude, okay.
Right.
And she gets an attitude when you ask her questions. So what kind of questions are you asking her?
Just regular questions. Hey, how's your, what are you doing? Like, if she goes out, hey, who are you going with? Yeah,
Okay, so those aren't regular questions. That's what I thought you were going to say. Those aren't regular questions. Those are questions you are anxious about what she's doing, and you're checking up on her like you don't trust her.
Right.
But you knew that, though, but you were trying to hide that. Why were you trying to
Right.
hide that from me?
That's the thing. You know, I feel like I'm like an anxious person, and you know, I kind of catch on to it. You know, which is the reason why you know I kind of working on that myself. But you know, it's like now, like like really what I'm worrying about right now is just like I said, she came back after 3 weeks of no contact. She wants to talk about the problem. Whenever I talk to her now, it kind of like she still has the same attitude, but she keeps telling me, "Hey, I want to talk to you in person." That's why I
Okay,
offered.
okay. So who initiated the breakup?
I initiated the breakup, but it was pretty much out of anger that I did it.
Okay, and what made you angry? Because it sounds like it was something that happened in the moment. So what was happening to make you break up with her?
So that day, I mean, I want to say she was like really, like obviously, like I said, she's in the army. I don't know how. I never been in the army. I never dated somebody in the army.
Brother, you're doing it again. Just answer the question, man.
Pretty much just her talking to me, disrespectful.
Give me the context of the conversation. What were y'all talking about that made her talk to you disrespectfully?
So, I called her. She was pretty much just quiet. I asked her, like, "Can you talk? Let's have a conversation." She was like, "Hey, I'm stressful. Like, I want to breathe. Like, I just want to stay on the phone and just stay quiet. Like, I had a long day." But it's a constant thing. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to tell you or not.
So she said that she had a long day. You wanted to talk to her. She said she had a long day. And she didn't want to like really talk that much. She said we could just get on the phone and breathe, right? Okay.
Yeah, right.
So then what happened after that?
So what happened after that, I asked her like, "Hey, did you eat?" With a grumpy attitude. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And I asked her like, "Hey, like what are you gonna wait, like what are you doing for tonight? Like are you just gonna lay down?" She's like, "Yes, I just want to lay down. Like I'm tired." And it's like a whole attitude just started.
Okay. And then what did you say?
I got really like angry because like I said I got a stressful job as it is as well, so
okay.
I got angry because it's like after a long day I want to go talk to you and it's like you're giving me an attitude, so it's like I told her like, "Hey, let's just stop talking. Like I can't I can't be with somebody that's giving me a lot of attitude for no reason. I mean she has a reason, but
right.
So now she pretty much texted me after long distance and after no contact, and then she wants me to talk to her. She wants me to go fly to where she's
okay,
at.
hold on. Before we get to that, how long have y'all been together?
We were together for 3 years.
3 years. Maz, it's the last call, by the way. We got it for 3 years. Okay, I was talking to you. I was talking to my moderators.
Okay.
And how did y'all meet?
We met. She lived like 2 houses near my house. Then I ended up moving to a different area. Pretty much, but we were seeing each other every single day. She started the army last year, so we kind of been doing long distance for a year.
Okay. And when will she come back? Do you know?
She's doing 4 years. She's doing 4 years in the army, but she always comes back. Last time I saw her was December, and like I said, now she wants me to go fly to her.
How frequently? How frequently does she come back?
Huh?
How frequently does she come back?
How soon? It's pretty much whenever she's planning on coming back home this summertime.
Okay. All right. So about once or twice a year she will be able to come back?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. And then you went 3 weeks no contact after you. How did she respond when you broke up with her initially?
I mean, she pretty much just got angry, so it just pretty much hung up, but we were keeping contact, like kind of like the first week. She kept saying, "Oh, she's not ready to come back," because like I said, I said it out of anger, but she kind of took it, as it was like actually for real, which I understand, but she just kept pushing me away, pretty much. So
right.
Whenever I backed off, she just, she kept texting me, "Hey, I hope you're doing good," and then until she told me, "Hey, if I pay for your plane ticket, will you come to Hawaii so we could fix things?" But right now it's just like I talk to her. I ask her questions like, "Hey, what are you doing? Like, are you like, why are you asking me questions? Like, we're not together yet. Like, let's wait till you come to Hawaii." But the thing is, I don't know if she's gonna be the same person based on what she's, pretty much the way she's talking to me now, which is kind of still with the same attitude.
When are you supposed to come to Hawaii? When are you supposed to come to Hawaii?
In 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Do y'all talk right now?
yeah, we talk right now, but it's like, whenever I ask her a question, she gets like really anxious or mad. But I understand the questions I'm asking, because all I want is, a little bit of a motivation that, hey, you're willing to fix things. And, I don't want to pretty much go a whole week without, working and stuff like that. Just, going to Hawaii, not knowing what's going to happen.
Okay.
Like, am I wrong for, kind of asking her
No,
now, or should I just
no.
wait
You have to solve the problem, brother. So when you break up and you get back together, so you break up because you have a problem.
Right.
So you break up, and then you solve the problem. You don't know how to solve the problem. You don't have the skill set to solve the problem that's causing your frustration in the relationship. So you end the relationship. Then the new problem is you now miss the person. So then you solve that new problem by getting back together. But when you get back together, yeah, you get the person back, but you also get the problem back.
Right.
If y'all already get back together, the problem that you have is still going to be present. And you still don't have the tools to deal with it.
Right.
Okay? So what does your social life look like?
I'm just driving trucks,
Right.
All over America.
Right. Okay. So, and she's the one that you would call.
Say it again?
She's the person that you would call when you want to talk to somebody.
I mean, yeah, sometimes, I talk to buddies, sometimes, but it's like, yeah, pretty much.
Okay. That's part of the problem here. So the best advice given to people who are anxiously attached is to pretend like they'll never be in a relationship again. Just pretend like you'll never be in a relationship again. And ask yourself, if I never am going to be in a relationship again, how can I build a life that would still make me happy?
Right.
And then whatever the answer to that question is, you need to now go do that. Because the problem with anxious attachment is you make how you feel on the inside the other person's responsibility. You make them your everything. Because you don't have a lot of stuff going on in your life, you make that person your everything. Okay? So when they leave, it feels like you lost everything, right? You're putting too much responsibility on this connection. Nobody can be another person's everything. Nobody can be another person's world. It's too big of a responsibility. It's inherently crushing, and it will ruin the relationship. Okay? So the first thing is you have to add other things, other connections, other hobbies, other sources of joy to your life so that you don't put so much pressure on this connection.
No.
That's the first thing you have to do. That's going to alleviate the pressure that you're putting on her. Okay? That's going to help you a lot because it sounds like she is stressful. She does have like a temperament problem. Like what you were pointing out about the family, I'm sure that's true, right? She does have a temper problem, but that can be amplified in stressful situations, right? So what you also will have to do is learn how to deal with that. Meaning, because you don't have any other source in your life that can create positive feelings within you, you need her to do it. And when you call her, and she's in a bad mood, you take it personally because I'm calling you so I can feel good. Now you feel bad. Now I'm mad because I can't even get what I need right here because I depend on you to make me feel good. And now you in a bad mood. Now you got a temper, right? So now I'm giving you back that same energy, which makes her madder because she's already stressed out. Now we've just amplified the situation and never had to get that big in the first place. Right? So the first step is going to be you add more stuff to your life where you can kind of generate more positive feelings for yourself. That's going to make it so you don't need her to do that. So when you call her and she's in a bad mood, you can just address what's actually going on. It's like, it sounds like you're stressed. You need anything? Right? And if she doesn't want to talk, like, we don't have to talk, right? Like, I can call you back a little bit later. Or if you need anything from me, you can let me know. Right? You can kind of come to her with that calm state, which will kind of ease her stress a little bit. And make her want to talk to you more, because now she associates you with like a safe space. See what I'm saying? So that's how you're going to ultimately solve this problem. There's more to unpack. If you want more, you can devote some of those truck driving funds to a 1 hour coaching call with 2 weeks of DM support. The rest of y'all can do the same. Click that button right there at the bottom of the screen and schedule your call. Back to you. That's what you're going to want to do. Now, the other news. I think you should fly out to Hawaii, but you also have to not be so fixated on what she's doing. You have to just make a decision where you're going to either trust her or not.
Yeah.
Because when you come across as insecure, that actually increases the odds of someone cheating on you.
Yeah.
Especially a woman, because a big thing that protects you from a woman cheating on you is, one, picking the right woman, right? Someone who actually is loyal. But then two, it is making sure she still is highly attracted to you. Okay? But here's the thing though. When you come across as insecure, you lower how attractive she finds you to be. And when she becomes less attracted to you, you create the conditions for cheating to occur. So in an effort to stop cheating, you're actually increasing the odds of its occurrence by being insecure.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, yeah.
Right. So we got to stop with that kind of conversations, right? I'll give you a little piece of game here. Whenever you feel that anxiety in your body, that anxious feeling, look at that as a sign that right now you shouldn't do anything. You shouldn't do anything. You shouldn't say anything. Any action you take, anything that you communicate while feeling this feeling is going to be the wrong decision.
Right, yeah.
Okay? Any action that you take while feeling this feeling is going to be the wrong decision. That's a little Band-Aid solution that'll help you out. 4 years is a long time for her to be long distance. How long has she been overseas?
I want to say 8 months.
8 months? Okay. So she has almost a year off. So 3 years left. It's hard. If you do the things I'm telling you, it will definitely help. But with you being anxiously attached, it is very hard for you to be in a real long distance connection like this with someone who also probably has attachment issues. Now, what Bobby just said, one thing that I got to bring up is very suspicious that she wants you to fly out there and is not willing to tell you what she's doing right now under the guise of y'all not being together.
Yeah, well, she pretty much is telling me, hey, she wants to talk in person and fix things. That's her thing. She even told her mom that, hey, I'm fixing stuff with me pretty much. And
okay.
Like I said, we have a close bond. Her mom knows my mom and all that. Our family kind of,
okay, that's good. That's good, brother. But listen, here's the thing, and don't get super anxious about this, but I have to tell you, when you break up with someone, they're single.
Right.
Okay? So anything that happens before y'all rectify was fair game. All right?
Yeah. Yep.
If you want to avoid those situations, don't break up with people as a knee-jerk reaction. All right?
Right.
All right. So
because whenever we broke up, and within, like I said, she told me, which I don't know if I'm wrong for this, but she told me that she has female friends, but she also met 2 guy friends. They went to the club, not just her with the guys, but it was pretty much like a group.
Right.
And then I asked her, hey, did you ever went out with those guys by yourself to the somewhere? She's like, yes, we went. Both of the guys and I went to a restaurant, which there I actually talked to them about what was happening to me.
I hear you, brother, but brother, I hate to cut you off, man. I'll be live again tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time, but I gotta run, pick my son up. We could finish this. I gotta run. We could finish this tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time if you're free, all right? But I gotta run, so I gotta end live. But
okay.
I wish you the best, Chief. All right. All right, people. Again, if you want to schedule your 1 hour coaching call, you know what to do. Hit this button at the bottom of the page. Shoot me a DM. I'll be in touch. If you're new here, make sure to follow. I'll go live twice a day. I'll be live again tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Appreciate the mods. Appreciate the chat. I will see you all tomorrow.